Season 4.5 Marvel Rivals is right around the corner, which means we have a brand new hero, and this time around it's Daredevil, and dare I say he's quite strong. As a matter of fact, I think he's one of the strongest releases Rivals has done in quite a bit, and one of the more interesting ones. It's no longer a character that just left clicks or right clicks. It actually has a lot of depth, a lot of combos, a lot of, weaving in and out of abilities in a very fun and dynamic way. So that is great. The character is also voiced by Alex Lee, who also voices the guy from Solo Leveling, Sung Jin Vape or Sung Jin Woo. He has 325 HP, he has only one weapon, and he's melee only. Let me just go through his passives, and his main passive is the fact that he's blind. Shocker, Daredevil is blind, and it is actually well put into the game. It is integrated very, very well. You cannot see past a certain distance. This includes enemies. You can't see them either. But if you are close enough, which I think is like 30 or 40 meters, I think it's 40 to 50 actually, you can see through walls, right? So there is a trade-off. You can't see long distance, but you can see through walls close distance, which is really, really useful because this character doesn't need to be long distance. He has no range. He is melee only. So this is, I think, a good thing for him. And a lot of the maps are really closed off, and I think most of the time he's gonna definitely benefit from this passive more than he would actually be hurt from it. Second of all, he has a second passive which allows him to grapple to walls, sit there and prowl basically. Third of all, he can actually just climb up the walls. He cannot go down, he can only go up, but he has an infinite wall climb. He doesn't need a cooldown. He doesn't have a cooldown like certain other characters, and he can do it as much as he wants, and he can get to anything, right? So this is great. Now, his primary fire is just baton melee. So this is it. You also have a different melee button. Like every character has a melee. He has a different one. It is really fast. As a matter of fact, I think it is better than your primary fire, maybe. But you can actually combo the two together. So if I do baton and then I do my melee, I actually do way more damage. It's way faster. So that is a good, interesting concept they've added to this character, and I like it. I enjoy the fact that you can choose whether or not you want a melee or you want a primary fire and how you want to combine them to do more damage. We're going to go through his abilities, and I just showcased you he has a grappling hook. I'm going to go back to that in a bit, but his main ability is his secondary fire, which is his deflect, and his deflect works quite literally like Genji deflect. You just deflect projectiles back to the enemies, and it works everywhere in front of you and on the side, right? But they can't shoot you in the back, which is really, really strong. As a matter of fact, it is like one of the most broken abilities in the game, because this means you can deflect Maggot, this means you can deflect Iron Man ult, this means you can deflect, pretty sure, Widowmaker ult, this means you can deflect a lot of things, right? Being able to deflect entire ultimates in this game is a very, very strong concept, and that is because ultimates in this game are very OP. I think this is probably gonna be what makes a Daredevil player good or not, the fact that they're thinking about the enemy ults and thinking about how they can actually send it back to the enemy. Works like Captain America shield, so anything Captain America can deflect, he can deflect as well, but Daredevil is gonna have a way easier time doing so because his range for the deflect is massive. Not to mention that unlike Cap, you can actually aim the shot wherever you want. So it is not a random direction. I don't know why Captain America is in a random direction, but this is not. So you can very consistently get in front of the Iron Man, deflect his ult, and then send it to the enemy and just wipe them. So he has a grapple, obviously. Very basic, you just grapple to any surface and you just get up there. It has a crazy long range. And let me just show you the cooldowns, because I didn't actually show you any of the cooldowns yet because I'm playing without cooldowns because I'm stupid. But this is the deflect, has a 12-second cooldown. This is the grapple, has a 12-second cooldown. Now, the interesting thing about the grapple is, number one, you activate Righteous Cross, which also activates when you use your E. I'll get into that in a bit, but Righteous Cross is quite legitimately just this. It's just this attack, that's it. Second of all, what is really interesting about the grapple is the fact that the grapple works on enemies. So you can actually grapple enemies and send them flying towards you, or send yourself flying towards them, or to be exact, send both of you towards each other for a little kiss. Beautiful, right? Yeah, this ability is very versatile. The fact you can grapple to any surface you want and get anywhere on the map way faster is very good. And second of all, the fact that it has utility in the sense that you can grapple enemies too is very good. So very strong ability. I guess I could say the fact that you can be up close to enemies and use this to, you know, just get even close to the next enemy, or just pull enemies close to you and discombobulate them.
Discombobulate.
Time for the next ability, and the next ability is actually his E that consumes 2 Fury. So you see the little flames, that's the Fury. So whenever you have Fury, you can use the E, and that works like Thor Force. Every time, by the way, you use your E, you also activate Righteous Cross. The way you recharge Fury is in a couple of ways, actually. First and foremost, showcase Devil's Throat. This is Devil's Throat, works like Moon Knight. It just ricochets between enemies. But after that, if I do damage to enemies, I actually regenerate Fury. The ability doesn't have a cooldown. And his second primary fire on his E is Devil's Chain, which is this, right? So it does quite a bit of damage, considering the fact that you can follow up with Righteous Cross. What makes this ability strong is, again, no cooldown. As long as you have Fury, you can activate it. But again, I keep forgetting to mention how you regenerate Fury. You regenerate Fury by using abilities. So every time I use a shift, I get 2 Fury, which means I can use my thing. And every single time I use my thing, which is my E, my Chungus, I get a left click, right? So every time I use my E, I consume 2 charges. I get a Devil's Cross, and then I can use my shift, which gives me 2 charges and a Righteous Cross, and then I can use my Devil's Chain, and I can do a Righteous Cross, and then I can do more damage, and I can do a Righteous Cross with Devil's Chain, and then blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. A lot of damage potential. Now, I don't know the combos of this character, and I probably will never learn them because I don't play DPS. I can assume you're gonna have some demons in your lobby comboing the abilities infinitely until your entire backline is decimated. Not to mention that every single time you use your E, whenever you hit an enemy with Devil's Chain, for example, you get shields based on how many enemies you've hit, actually. And you can get maximum 450 HP, so 125 shields max. Devil's Throat also works like this and gives you shields too. Not only does he do a lot of damage, but he also has a lot of sustain, which is insane in itself. It is very versatile. You can choose whether or not you want to throw your Chungus or you want to do damage up close, and this will also activate your cross attack, which does damage in itself, and then you can weave in more stuff. But this is not the only way for you to generate Fury. No, no, no. You have another way to actually generate Fury, and it is very interesting. As long as you can see enemies, which means they need to be up close, you can activate Sonic Pursuit, which is your F ability. And when you use your F ability, see enemies no matter the distance, right? You see this little meter on the right side? This means the ability is active and you can see them through walls. Now, this is very strong because I can mark the enemy support that I want to kill, and I can go prowl. I can sit in the background. I can do whatever I want, right? I can be like a little demon that is slowly but surely getting up close to your support, and at any moment I can strike because I have 2 abilities that can get me closer to him, and I have 2 dashes. Yes, he has 2 dashes because every single time you actually Sonic Pursuit somebody, you can dash with the same ability. Every time you dash, you regenerate Fury. You see where this is going? Yeah. Not to mention that every time you kill an enemy with a mark, you regenerate the mark. So this means you can use the mark again. Let me just use the thing. Dash to the enemy, regenerate more Fury. Dash to a different enemy, regenerate more Fury. Dash to another enemy, regenerate more Fury. Now, obviously, this is a practice range, so it's not a perfect example. It's very silentized, but you get the idea. Also, whenever you mark somebody, you get movement speed. So when an enemy is marked, you move faster. This means you can get to the target faster. And when you dash to the enemy, you also blind them. And I'm pretty sure that after you dash into the enemy, you also take reduced damage. Let me check. Locks onto a target, gaining increased speed and damage reduction. No, as a matter of fact, you don't even need to dash. Whenever you are attacked, you get damage reduction as long as somebody is marked. So if I take damage from this person, from this bot, I just took 25. If I mark them, I took 20. It's like 20%. 5%. Is it 25%? Am I stupid? Somebody can correct me in chat. Is it 10% actually? No, it's 20. No, wait. Wait. Either way, I don't care enough to check it. You get the idea. Very strong ability. The fact that I can mark anyone and then get a passive that lasts like 15 seconds is crazy strong. And the fact that I can dash to them and regenerate Fury and then get a dash reset because I can mark the next enemy and keep this forever is insane. This is a really strong ability. A lot of his abilities are really strong, but it's only strong if you know how to use it, because if you don't know how to use it, you're going to waste the mark. It's going to go on cooldown and you won't be able to do much. Very, very, very strong. And finally, we have his ultimate, which is a very good ult. Whenever enemies are looking at you while using it, they take damage and get blinded. Let the devil out! Now you can see the effect around you, like the range of it. So this is how big it is. It's around 20 meters, I think. If I just use it right now, and I just get closer, right now it's nobody's affected. Daredevil is not affected. Now that I'm close up to Daredevil, he's being affected and does a lot of damage, and it blinds enemies, and the blind is really strong. Very important, a very, very important thing here is whenever I don't have Fury, it actually regenerates my Fury passively. And it does so pretty quickly. So if I have used up my Fury, so I have no Fury right now, I can press my Q and just get my Fury instantly, then I can spam more abilities. Oops, embarrassing, but you get the idea. It regenerates Fury quite a bit, so I'm just gonna use it. I'm gonna use my Fury again, and it's just regenerating as fast as possible. Plus every attack is going to regenerate, plus the abilities are going to regenerate, which means you can spam and get more shields, and yap, you get the idea. Now this ability is going to be really strong because every single time you go through a choke, you try to cap the point. As long as the enemies are looking at you when you use it, they're going to be taking a lot of damage. So the supports in the back, they're looking at the tank, trying to heal. Daredevil is there, they're taking damage. They need to turn around, the tank can't get healed, and the tank cannot look at you, which means he needs to turn his back towards his team. Or he needs to tank the blindness and the damage, which is quite a bit. There's two solutions. I think you need to use a support ult, otherwise you just need to back away until you're out of his effective range, which means you're giving up the point for free. Or you need to kill Daredevil, which will be really hard considering the fact that he's going to be able to spam 50 million abilities and just kill you in a millisecond, right? So, and how does the blindness look? Well, let me just show you in a very, very funny environment, which is the timed practice. Now, you're going to hear 3 ultimates going off at the same time, but I just want to showcase the blindness. Any second now. In any moment. In any millisecond. Right, so this is the blindness effect. As you can see, it is quite strong. And one fun thing is you can actually see the range of Daredevil's ultimate even if you are an enemy, right? So it's not only him and his teammates, everybody can actually see what is the range of his ultimate. So that is very good. Overall, Daredevil, I think very strong. I'm sure Necros is going to figure out some crazy combos. Why is he chasing me outside of the... Anyway, very OP, at least it looks like it. A lot of utility, a lot of versatility, a lot of movement ability, a lot of tech is going to be found, a lot of animation cancels will be found, and I'm sure our boy Necros will find out 50 million things because this character has been made for him. It has everything Genji players like about Genji, which is his dash, his kill potential, his dash resets, his combos, his wall climb, his versatility and verticality, but he is somehow 10 times stronger. It's like Genji on steroids, and overall I think this will be the strongest melee character in the game. I will be wrong, probably, like I was about Blade, but every melee character is either too strong or too weak, and I think this character will not actually be weak at all. But I think he will be hard. I think he will be hard, and I think there will be a big community of Daredevil mains, because the character itself, he is cool. Daredevil is a cool character, very old character, so a lot of people are big fans, and now they can play as Daredevil. And I'm happy they're releasing Daredevil in the way they are because he's quite unique. And I feel like the last few releases this game has had have been quite boring, not gonna lie. I think we've had only a couple of characters that have been released in the last 9 months that were actually fun to play. Most of them are very basic. Hold left click, hold right click, get value, move on. This character actually has depth, has unique concepts, and I think has been made with a lot of love. So let me just show you real quick his skin before I go, and his Lord icon. Now, I saw a lot of people complain that it's another 2099 skin, but honestly, it's kind of fire. And the play of the game is also fire. I usually don't care about skins, but this looks alright. Aura. And his Lord icon is, let me show it. These are the KO prompts. DD. Very cool. And this is his Lord icon, which is actually very, very good. Usually they're very bare bones and there is barely any difference, but this time around, honestly, very cool, very good, very aura. But that's about it. You know, he also has a team up with Punisher, the marks to Punisher, so he can see through walls whenever somebody's marked, and he also blinds targets with his new ability. I guess I can showcase it before I leave. Let me know what you think about the character. Does he seem OP? I'm sure people are going to complain. Support players are going to complain. People always complain. Everybody's always unhappy. But I think it's going to be a good addition. This is his ability. You know, I'm probably going to be wrong about a lot of things. But again, you know, I am human. I make mistakes. But thank you. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a chungus, whatever else. And I'm probably streaming right now showcasing the character. So see you very soon.